Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. So we are having a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus happening on October 28th. And this is happening around 4:24 p.m. I feel like that 4:24 is a number that I would consider a synchronistic number because whenever I see numbers like that show up on the clock, I always look. And for me, when it comes to synchronistic numbers, I found myself at one point obsessing over the numbers. And after a while, you know, it got to a point where it didn't make sense to keep sitting down and trying to decode what every number meant and the message behind it. And after a while, whenever I would see these numbers, it would be a confirmation to me that what I'm thinking at the moment is very fertile and it's creating my reality, because when I would decode the numbers that I would be seeing at the moment, it would be a reflection of what I'm thinking or what's happening within me. So it showed me the importance of being conscious about what's happening in my mind. And I know it's hard for some of us to like monitor our thoughts, but we can monitor our emotions and make sure we're feeling positive or neutral and redirect ourselves to thoughts or new affirmations to replace the old ones so that we're within that frequency. I feel like me starting off this message and touching on the synchronistic energy of the time, which I did notice, but I didn't even think that I was going to speak on it much. But I feel like me tapping into that brings me to us stepping into some very fertile times. And very fertile times to me stands out when I get to certain times and I'm adding up the numerology in the day from my daily videos that I'll do. And when the energies add up to the number 11, that's not what's happening on the day of the solar eclipse, full moon. But whenever we get within that season, I know that the energies are more turbulent and sensitive. It's just like, say, within November, I feel like November could be a turbulent and sensitive month just because that number 11 is present. And it could be in a good way or in a challenging way where it could, you know, anything can happen, but things, you know, it's like the energy is super fertile. So with us being in the era of information, it's very important for us to guard our mind and pay attention to how certain things are being presented to us for a reason. But let me get into the video. It's interesting how I just dived in and information is coming at me on a whole. But this video, as usual, is, you know, 5 things that I want to share with you when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse energy that's happening on October 24th. And, you know, of the 5 things I share with you in this video is part 1, and part 2 of this video is available only on Patreon. And that's where I go in and do more of a channel reading for each sun, moon, rising sign, where I go over all the zodiac signs and I just touch on whatever I see and pull some cards for it. But let's get into this message here. So when it comes to the 5 things that I want to share with you, the first thing is the numerology. And when it comes to, say, the day of this full moon lunar eclipse, I thought it was interesting that the day adds up and reduces the number 9 vibration. And not interesting, but it's so fitting because a full moon energy deals with some kind of an ending, whether something is coming to an end completely or it's coming to an end and evolving to the next level into something else. So with the number 9 energy being there, you know, that the energy is adding up to that, it brings me to some kind of a major ending. Like something is really coming to an end. Something is really, you know, something is shifting. And for me, when it comes to frequency, energy never dies. So of course, when something appears to come to an end in our world, it just shifts into something else. It's like watching a sci-fi or a scary movie. And, you know, you think, you know, they thought they unalived a certain character and not realize that the energy or the ghost of that character just kind of seeped into something else. So to me, that's what happens on the world stage. Things appear to come to an end, but they really don't. They just evolved or mold into something else. But we have to become aware of what's happening so we can know what we're looking at, and know that what we think we're looking at sometimes is not at all what it is that we're looking at. And when it comes to, say, the numerology for the day, you know, first we're in a 7th year, and within a 7th year, the 7th energy deals with spirituality, deals with healing, it deals with faith. So a lot of us could find ourselves going through things in a 7th year, especially things when it comes to our finances. And, you know, this Taurus lunar eclipse energy might deal with finances for a lot of us, but within a 7th year, we deal with things within our financial situation, because the number 7 doesn't deal with the material world. So of course, everything on a material level might slow down to a certain extent, or we might experience pressure, and some of us might find ourselves in situations that cause us to be more desperate than normal, or some of us might find ourselves feeling like we're in timeout, and just from the desperation of feeling like we're in timeout, we could find ourselves acting out or making rash decisions and not thinking things through. When I think about the whole rash decisions and not thinking things through, I want to jump around to the fact that the full moon energy is at 5 degrees, and the number 5 energy deals with sudden and unexpected changes. It's like that glitch in the matrix. And to me, it's almost like that spark that lights the fire. And it's the spark that lights the fire, in the sense that I think of it's the chaos that brings in, you know, that makes magic work. So it's a situation where it could create sudden and unexpected changes that could be so beneficial for some, or it might not be as beneficial for another, but it's that spark. So I think about when it comes to, say, weather. And I remember a while back, me and a family member that's really close to me got into this big argument about weather, because at the time I felt like weather could be manipulated, and has been from the beginning, from when they told us how, you know, they could impregnate certain droplets in the sky and cause it to rain. I feel like, you know, my imagination always takes things a lot further, and now fast forward, you know, we're getting permission to believe that that's actually a thing. With the number 5 energy, the sudden and unexpected change, I think about, say, an opportunity is it's like the number 5 creating an opportunity to make something happen, in the sense that when it comes to, say, farmers and planting seeds, we have to follow certain systems and cycles. And Taurus energy deals with systems and cycles. We have to follow certain systems and cycles, but at the same time, it's knowing how to manipulate and making things happen within that window, within that system, within that cycle. So the number 5 energy creates that glitch within the matrix that allows for, you know, magic to happen. Whether it's beneficial to some or not, but it creates that opportunity. October is the 10th month, and with the 10th month deals with some kind of new beginning or new perspective or new idea. And with the 0 next to it, it also talks about possibilities to a new beginning, new perspective, or new idea. Or the number 1 energy with the 0 next to it could deal with big ego, you know, big ego to the point where I want to win, I'm right, I'm first, me, hear me. Could be some of the things with the number 10 energy with the 0 next to it, to the point where it's like, you know, it's my way or no way, or this is where we're filled with so many ideas and we're overwhelmed with the ideas, because the 0 next to it, we're thinking about all these possibilities. So, you know, this is where, you know, we paralyze in place because there's so much happening with all these ideas. The day is the 28th. The number 2 is emotional, is sensitive. The number 8 is also a controlling energy, like the number 1 from the 10th month. The number 8 is the CEO. The number 8 is a teacher. It's the student. But the number 8 is the officer, the overseer, the one who is in charge, the one who is in charge of, you know, punishing or rewarding, but keeping everyone in line. And 2 plus 8 is 10. The number 1 energy is repeated again. So that brings some kind of a new beginning, or some kind of a new perspective when it comes to something. I think about even the time, 4:24 p.m. and how 424 also adds up to the number 1 vibration. So even though there's an ending, it's like a circle. The ending is the beginning. So one thing is shifting and morphing into something else. So when it comes to this full moon total lunar eclipse, something, you know, some drastic ending, some major ending, but really, you know, it doesn't end, it just shifts into something else. And that brings me back to the number 9 energy. With the number 9 energy dealing with ending, sometimes we might have a hard time of letting go because we're afraid of the unknown. But when I look at the full moon energy at 5 degrees, I feel like there won't be any choice. It's like it's sudden and unexpected, and it's a matter of embracing the new changes that this lunar eclipse is bringing. This sudden, and it's like it comes upon us. It's almost like, you know, us finding out about the whole lockdown situation. It's like it happened so fast, or it may have appeared to be so fast to some of us, appeared to be sudden and unexpected, to the point where it was upon us, and it was a matter of making the most of it, learning how to make things work, learning how to move forward from here is what I get with that. So the second thing that I want to talk to you about is a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So a full moon lunar eclipse energy is like an amplified ending energy. It's like an ending on steroids, or an evolution. And with it in Taurus energy deals with our systems. It deals with our education system, our financial system, our food system, like just every tangible material system that you can think of that governs our earth. Think of Taurus energy. And you know, a full moon is when the sun and the moon are in opposing signs. So when you think of Taurus energy, think of all of the tangible material things that we experience on this earth. But then when you think of Scorpio energy, where the sun is the opposition to the full moon, think of everything that's controlling. It's like the puppet strings that's controlling everything in our physical realm, but things that you cannot see, things that will be considered as conspiracy because we're being gaslight and haven't been given permission to even think or speak about these things. So Scorpio energy is everything that is puppeteering, controlling our physical and tangible reality. I also think of Scorpio energy as the psychology, where it's like Taurus is our values, is what it is that we value. And then Scorpio energy is the psychology that we've developed to maintain these values. And a lot of the psychology we have on certain things have been given to us, just like our beliefs. So it's like we're given beliefs and values, and then through media and marketing and education, which all the education and stuff ties into Taurus energy, but through media, marketing, education and stuff like that, we're given the kind of psychology to defend certain views, so where we'll find ourselves fighting till the death to defend certain things that deep down, like, we couldn't even really prove these things that we're fighting for. So I've come to a realization where it's like, I'm not going to follow anything blindly because I can't prove those things for myself. And there's only a few things that I know for sure. And the few things that I know for sure is what I know, and everything else I don't know. I'm open to hearing new things, but I will follow nothing blindly or fight for nothing because I don't know for sure. So it's like me enjoying going into the comments of certain controversial topics and seeing people wear themselves out in the comments fighting over an ideology, something that cannot be proven, something that we've been given, something that we've been told. And with this full moon energy, it brings me to, you know, something about something we've been given, something we've been told, something foundational, something that's like a point of reference. It's like something coming to an end. And we might, around the full moon energy, it's like, you know, something might happen that's a catalyst to this ending, and over time the ending will fully take place. But it's like the foundation that we're so used to standing on, something about that is shifting. So whether it is financial or food, or, you know, having to do with different conflicts going on in the world, or finances or different things like that, a lot is happening, and the foundations that we're used to standing on, those are shifting. So we have to be open to change. The third thing that I want to share with you when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is the grand earth trine. And why is the grand earth trine a challenging thing? The grand earth trine that's happening between Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, between Uranus and Taurus, and Pluto and Capricorn, and Venus conjunct part of Fortune and Virgo. To me, when I think of the grand earth trine, it always brings me to say looking at someone's natal chart and them having certain things within their lives that plays together so easily, so well, to the point that stepping out of their comfort zone is so hard, and they'll find themselves feeling miserable to the point that life doesn't feel. It's like life is like, imagine getting up and eating the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's like you're eating the same thing over again to the point that it's like life feels like it has no meaning. You've stopped dreaming because there's no desire or, you know, excitement, whereas like you want to eat something different, but at the same time, the thing that you're eating, it's available, it's free, it comes so easy. And because it comes so easy and you're not starving, there's no motivation to fight for something else. So when it comes to, say, the grand earth trine, I get where we've all been so conditioned to have things the way that they are, to where it's like, even though we might be unhappy with what we're hearing or what's happening, it's like we're so comfortable to the point that it's like there's no motivation to do anything. It brings me to one of the laws in Robert Greene's book called The 48 Laws of Power. And in the 48 Laws of Power, it's important to be the giver. Because when you're the giver within a dynamic, you call the shots, where it's like, imagine the person that's always in the receiving position. And this person is always in the receiving position so much to the point that they aren't even confident in themselves to know what's possible for themselves because they're always in the receiving position. And I feel like that could be us collectively, in the sense that when it comes to the information, you know, us being told what to think and how to think, to the point that when it's time for us to think on ourselves, our minds go blank and we're like, tell me what to think, tell me what to do, because I don't know. I don't trust myself enough to know or think for myself. You know, I'll wait for you to come and tell me what to do. And even though I disagree with what you're telling me what to do, I mean, it's better than what I would think for myself, because that's nothing. I'm drawing blank. So to me, when I think of that grand earth trine, I think about, you know, like being so comfortable in certain situations, which brings me back to the number 9 energy in numerology, and fearing the unknown to the point that we stick to the evil that we know, because the unknown is so terrifying. The fourth thing that I want to share with you when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse energy is what is unexpected. And I feel like what is unexpected, like the number 5 energy, sudden and unexpected energy, isn't really, it feels unexpected, but it's really not, because if we pay attention, there's always signs, there's always symbolism. Some of us have dreams, some of us have premonitions, but like with that grand earth energy, if those experiences aren't ones that we have permission to have, we might not trust them, we might dismiss them. So when things happen, it's like, damn, this happened out of nowhere, when intuitively, you know, we've been guided, we have dreams, we have premonitions and whatnot. But to me, what might be unexpected when it comes to this this lunar eclipse energy might be something around our banking system, something around our finances, where we're forced into a new way of dealing with financial situations, one that we didn't expect. Could be something around our food or even weather, where it feels like, oh, unexpectedly, you know, this natural disaster thing happened over here and it's created some kind of a reset situation, and it feels sudden and unexpected, but really it's not. For those who know, you know, really it's not, but it feels that way. So I feel like what might feel unexpected is news around our food, news around our financial situation, news around the systems on a whole, but mainly the things that bring comfort. And I feel like they bring comfort because this is familiar comfort. This is what we've been conditioned to see as comfort. So to me, those are some of the unexpected things. But the blessings that's coming in for me when it comes to this energy, the blessing is the reset. It's like the tower moment in the tarot. It's like after the Tower moment comes the Star card. And after the Tower moment brings me to say something, it's like, imagine someone trying to keep something up that's just too much for them. It's too overwhelming. And a situation happens and that thing falls apart, or something comes to end, a reset happens. And from this reset with the Star card, it's like this person is naked, they're vulnerable, they're picking up the pieces, they're rebuilding. So to me, it's like an opportunity to rebuild. It's an opportunity for some people to create the reality or the world that they've always wanted to be a part of. Whether, you know, some of us allow ourselves to step into that and make that happen, who knows? I feel like some of us will. But, you know, that's all that matters. Some of us will, and that's all that matters. But yeah, when it comes to the blessings, I feel like from the sudden and unexpected changes, it'll create a reset within the system in ways that will set us free. Because when I think about the full moon energy and how a full moon is where the sun is in one side, which is in Scorpio with a stellium happening with Mercury and Mars energy there, and opposing Taurus, which is the moon, Jupiter and Uranus, I think of like, you know, a back and forth between what's invisible and what's seen and what's not seen. And I feel like with this situation, the blessing is a lot will come to the light. A lot of us will become aware of things that we cannot unknow. And once we become aware of these things that we cannot unknow, it's like that feeling where it's like the truth will set you free type of situation. Because I look at how, like, when it comes to say the full moon energy, how there's a T-square happening between what's happening in Scorpio and Taurus and then Pluto. And when I think about Taurus and Scorpio energy, like I said, it's power struggles, it's fixed energy, it's what's hidden and what is in plain sight. I think of it like assets. Taurus is tangible assets. Scorpio is non-tangible assets. And to me, there's a push and pull. There's a back and forth within that. There's some kind of a major crash within that. But it puts things in your face. And then that T-square is happening with Pluto and Capricorn. And Capricorn is authority. Capricorn is, say, the systems and the authorities that run it. And there's this clash, this T-square, this clash happening. And I feel like I said, it's like the Tower moment, this explosive moment happening, and things are in front of your face. And I know the way how social media is nowadays, it's so hard to tell what's real from what isn't. But that's because you're not supposed to be looking out in the world to see what's real from what isn't. You're supposed to look within yourself. I remember coming across this video not too long ago, and it was this young lady who was spitting a lot of truth to me because she was saying a lot of what I've already thought intuitively for myself about a lot of other things. And I was reading the comments and seeing how all these professional, educated people were attacking her based on her pronunciation, based on how she was saying certain things. And I thought it was hilarious because in all reality, they were really just attacking her because they don't want to deal with the reality of what she's saying, because it will require things out of them that they're not willing to, you know, stand up. I think about how we could be not pessimistic, but skeptical in certain situations because we're afraid to deal with the reality of that thing. So it's like hearing something about our foods and then what it might mean to accept that reality. It might mean that we need to start learning how to grow foods, but we don't want to accept that reality. So instead, we will shoot the messenger. So the people in the comments were being so disrespectful. But, you know, I was sharing the video with a family member, and the family member was like, you know, what she's saying is crazy. How could she prove this, that, and the next? And my thing was, who can prove anything just about? Like, a lot of what we believe, we don't have the proper tools to go out and prove these things to ourselves. We just believe these things because we've heard them repetitively over and over and over again, to where we're emotionally connected to some of them. So we will fight to the death for some of these beliefs that we can't prove. But what I was saying to the person was, for me, it's a matter of me having these premonitions and realizations about these things. So to hear her share these crazy thoughts that I've had myself independently, it's a confirmation to me. It's a confirmation to me that I am not the only one that have had this download or have had this realization or have had this understanding when it comes to this thing. And it's a matter of, what am I going to do with the information? Like, I don't need anybody else to tell me what to do. It's what am I going to do with the information? I remember way back, a little bit after the lockdown, when farmers were passing out videos on WhatsApp because they were being banned on any other platform. And I remember coming across the videos and even sharing in some of my videos about the food shortages and what they're saying about what's happening. And around that time, I shared within the videos the best way I could without being a fear monger or whatnot, but also to what was being shared in these videos were information that intuitively I have come about. So with these farmers now confirming that, you know, I went and did what I thought was best with the information. And at this moment, no, we haven't had that yet, but food prices have skyrocketed, and I found myself saving because of certain dry goods and things that I stocked up on. And, you know, I'm able to save because of, you know, the increase in what these things are being charged for now compared to back then. So when it comes to the information, it's like, you can't trust, you know, what you're seeing online. And I feel like even though that's intentional, so when real crazy things are happening, you know, you won't know what to how to trust it. So you'll freeze in place because you don't know what to do, but you got to learn to trust yourself. So for me, when I come across this young lady, or, you know, or came across the WhatsApp messages that were being sent to me, they only validated what I already knew to be true within me. So to me, when it comes to the, you know, these changes that's happening and a falling of this system or this comfort zone, I feel like, you know, we're entering into a phase where we're being shooken up out of our comfort zones. And it's bringing me to the story that I heard once about how the mother eagle stirs up the nest and allows the baby eaglets to fall out so that they could realize that they can fly. I feel like that's exactly what's happening to us, whether it's natural disasters, wars, or different things that's happening that seem so devastating. Those of us who are still sane enough after all of what's happening to make decisions, see the chaos and everything happening as the universe stirring up the nest and reminding us that we can all fly. So for me, when it comes to whatever changes and things that's happening, the blessings is that it will teach us all that we can fly, and also teach us that we can rebuild and build the reality that we want for ourselves. So there's never a reason to fear, because everything is always working out in and for our greatest good, even when we can't see it at the moment. Just like the baby eaglets who are falling, and in midair they realize, oh my God, I got wings. And I feel like that's what's happening for us. That's a blessing that's actually happening